Welcome to Sim UK. Today we're going to review Train Mechanics Simulator 2017. Car Mechanic 2015 improved upon the 2014 original by increasing the choices available to you and giving you a feeling of progression and control of your workload and surroundings. You could pick and choose jobs, take on the most fun and most profitable whilst avoiding those that you didn't really fancy. It was seen as a massive step forward, and despite the terrible first-person driving experience which was at times forced upon you, there was a clear improvement over the original. Unfortunately, Train Mechanic Simulator is yet another implementation using the exact same restrictive approach that we saw in Car Mechanic 2014, and very closely resembles both the Farm Mechanic and Truck Mechanic simulators. It's linear. You will have to complete jobs 1 to 10 before you can progress to jobs 11 to 25. There are no options, no decisions. That's what you get, that's what you're doing, and that is that. It seems that despite strong and repeated user feedback highlighting the fact that forced linear gameplay is not what we want, nor is it enjoyable, has fallen upon deaf ears. Despite a new development team, Train Mechanic Simulator is just a modified copy of recent editions with all of the exact same unlikable characteristics. Even the first-person view is restrictive, forcing you to walk in channels and over bridges rather than jumping over or dropping into the pit from wherever you like. It feels very much like I am being led through the game rather than playing it. There is no career mode and no radio for you to switch on and off. If you want to turn the music off, you do that via the menu. Then, the next time that you load the game up, it's back on again. If you do turn the very annoying music off, then you will instead be subject to the constant, distant clickety-clack of trains passing you, except they never actually pass. They just repeat the same constant clickety-clack sound regardless of time and or location. Turn that off and it's completely silent but for the occasional sound of your ratchet. If you've played any of the Mechanic Simulator titles before, then the general game mechanics are unchanged. The only noticeable difference is that you have a tablet instead of a PC, and from that you can manage all of your purchasing and limited upgrades. Annoyingly though, you cannot manage or accept any jobs. Instead of a single bench upon which you can repair all of the damaged parts, you will now have 3 benches, each one specific to an area of the locomotive: mechanical parts, electrical parts, and hydraulic parts. Train Mechanic Simulator consists of diesel, electric and steam locomotives, but you must complete all of the pre-selected jobs before you can even get to the next level of trains. I'm 6 hours in and still working towards steam trains. Your garage is upgraded, whether you like it or not, once you have completed a certain number of jobs, and that in turn allows you to start working on the next type of trains. It's diesels first, then electric, and finally steam. But it also removes the opportunity for you to work on any other type of locomotive. One garage for one type of locomotive. Despite this layer of separation, all garages are identical in functionality. You will quickly become accustomed to each locomotive, as they are all identical but for colour. The trains themselves appear to be generic representations rather than real-life examples. Perhaps there are licensing issues surrounding that. As such, the locating of parts becomes faster and easier. The level of detail for parts is as good as it always is. The camera is a little annoying but still controllable, and the complexity of repairs increases with each job. I don't yet know what happens once you get to the steam engines, or what happens once you've completed all of the pre-assigned jobs, but I would hope that you can at least begin to pick and choose your workload. There has been work carried out to replace and enhance the 3D driving experience. You drive a diesel train with a crane attached around a small island which consists of multiple biomes and somewhat repetitive and disproportionate scenery items and bridges. In order to change the points on the track and alter your direction of travel, you are required to click on constantly changing buttons located to the right, which update as you progress along the rail. It's quirky, a little odd, and really not that much fun to be honest. I might have preferred having to click on the points on the map instead, which unfortunately is something you cannot do. The modelling of the trains is also okay, and there is a first-person view of the dashboard with controllable moving parts. The locomotive controls are very basic and the sounds are mostly okay except for the clickety-clack sounds of the track, which sound as though they are coming from somewhere off in the distance. You will be tasked with towing, lifting, and my least favourite task of all, finding locomotives strewn across the map. All in all, this is probably the best implementation of the 3D driving experience yet. The game has crashed on me. Occasionally text is jumbled, and on one occasion it did allow the replacements of parts in the incorrect order. These are certainly just bugs, and I hope they will be resolved in the very near future. If you were perhaps excited by the size of robot arms that you saw in the screenshots, then don't be. They are just props that cannot move. Equally, each environment has steps leading to nothing and pointless items strewn about the place which appear to have absolutely no purpose other than to just get in your way. The whole thing really feels like a mobile game, and perhaps that is where the developers are heading. Certainly this is not an advancement of the game, just another variation of it. Do I feel as though I have learnt something about the internal workings of locomotives? Certainly yes, I have, but overall the game feels soulless and hollow. I'm not a train engineer, so I cannot contest to the accuracy of what I have experienced mechanically. What I can say is that I had no idea trains were so basic. That doesn't necessarily seem logical to me, so maybe there are some limitations to the simulated mechanics also. Despite the fact that I genuinely enjoyed testing and replacing the fuses, I've no idea why, but I really did, overall the game quickly feels boring, repetitive, and way too restrictive. Not because of the content, but of the way that it has been implemented. If you're really seriously interested in train mechanics, most of the annoyances probably won't affect you the way that they have me. My recommendation would be only buy this game if you're a die-hard mechanic fan or seriously interested in the internal workings of trains. It's such a shame that the developers appear to have had their hands tied like this. There is absolutely nothing new here, except for the trains obviously. My name's SimUK, thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourselves, and until next time, goodbye for now.